is 6 o'clock on Wednesday, May 11th. So I call the meeting of the DeKalb Township Board of Trustees to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Trustee King. Here. Trustee Bradlow.
Here.
Trustee McNutt. Here. Supervisor House.
Here.
And Trustee Thurman is absent. And then also present is Commissioner Craig Smith.
Okay. So we do have a quorum. If you could all stand for the pledge, please. Chief, would you be so kind to lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, next item is approval of agenda. Does anyone have any corrections or changes in the order of the agenda that they'd like to request? Hearing none, it's approved. So tonight we're going to start with presentations. We have two groups here. First is Paul Borg from DCEDC. You remember him from a few months back, and he's here to talk to us about Opportunity Unbound. And there is some there's some paperwork in your packet. So it's right after the financials.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Good evening. Let me first say that the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation, a public-private partnership dedicated to economic development, expanding and diversifying the economy in the county, is greatly appreciative of your support, ongoing support for many years of our organization. Tonight, I want to provide an update for you on our Opportunity Unbound Branding and Communications Initiative. Share with you what we're doing, what the purpose of it is, and how we need to fund it, and ask for your support for this special project. What we're doing is executing a comprehensive branding strategy to promote DeKalb County, really to increase awareness of DeKalb County economic and community development opportunities to enhance our competitiveness in attracting talent, workers, professionals, residents, and visitors, together with continued attraction of companies and investors. I was mentioning to Mary earlier that for DCEDC has been in business for 35 years, and for most of that period, we've focused on industrial recruitment. And typically in our economy and in economies throughout North America, industrial development had always been a leader in forming economies with residents following with housing purchases and consumer sales and spending. However, now we're in competition with a lot of regions and communities in Northern Illinois for that same talent base, and we're finding and hearing from employers too that we really need to focus on community development as well as economic or industrial development. How are we doing it? We've initially, move on to the next slide. We've created an opportunity about the one before that maybe. There we go. Sorry. Thank you. We've created a dedicated Opportunity Unbound website, www.opportunityunbound.com. We have specific sections dedicated to building and operating a business, working in DeKalb County, living here and raising a family, as well as experiencing entertainment and recreational events. Schools and churches and a variety of other information is contained, and it will continue to grow. Next slide, please. The program focuses on posting regularly in social media messages about DeKalb County successes and attractions from the standpoint of community, personal, and business, and schools and educational institutions, everything that makes DeKalb County an attractive and a thriving community. Next slide, please. We've created ads to reach various target audiences, including this one, workforce and visitors. We're placing ads in traditional as well as digital media and purchasing digital advertising to expand audiences beyond DeKalb County well into northern Illinois and elsewhere. Next slide, please. Our initial placements include the Daily Chronicle. Next slide. Business publications and websites. Next slide. And publications such as Site Selection magazine and National Corporate Site Selection publication. We purchased an ad alongside the state of Illinois' ad in the Site Selection magazine. Next slide, please. We've also published testimonials on businesses and people that have selected DeKalb County and thrive in DeKalb County. Matt Sexton, the Community Relations Officer of Meta or Facebook. Thank you. Fody Pappas of Pappas Development and their investment in community, as well as NIU students and business interns, the Chamber of Commerce intern, Michael Hollebuck, and our DCEDC graduate assistant, David Long, born and raised in DeKalb County, returning from college in Pennsylvania and looking to focus his career at home in DeKalb County. Next slide, please. Creating and distributing marketing premiums or oh, I didn't. Would you like to hear one? Go ahead. How much time do you have, Mary?
Sure, we can hear, that's fine.
Would you like to hear another one or move on?
If we can move on,
That's fine. And I'm sorry. I'm on the marketing premiums slide. There you go. And creating and distributing marketing premiums or swag, shirts, buttons, banners to increase local and external awareness. Next slide. Organizing ambassadors throughout the county to become familiar with the program and its messaging to multiply and enhance message distribution and audience digitally, and also when we have families and companies looking in DeKalb County. It's great to have local residents, local business and community leaders familiar with the marketing program to support what we're trying to do to grow the entire economy, community as well as economic. Next slide, please. We're currently in the process of hiring a marketing manager dedicated full-time to the promotion of DeKalb County. What do we intend to accomplish? Outcomes will include attracting more workers to apply for jobs, attracting employees and professionals to live in DeKalb County, attracting students to stay in DeKalb County to work and live, attracting more visitors to experience DeKalb County and come back and maybe live and work, and attracting more investors and businesses to invest, build, and operate in the county, expand and diversify the tax base and increase tax revenue, create jobs, increase wages, and increase local purchasing. Next slide, please. How is our opportunity unbound being funded? Our goal has been to secure $750,000 in contributions or pledges for a 3-year period, $250,000 per year. This funding, this revenue is needed to initiate and sustain promotions and advertising to really make DeKalb County well-known and top of mind throughout the Midwest for our audiences, businesses, professionals, families, and visitors. Next slide, please. We have started with the larger DCEDC private members to kick off funding this special program. And we've raised $450,000 of the $750,000 total needed. And we are continuing to solicit additional current and potential business members of DCEDC. Next slide. Next, we are reaching out to the county, municipalities, and townships, and will include all community beneficiaries of DCEDC's services, current members and non-members, to raise the balance of funding needed. We intend to reach out to the townships throughout the county that we work in, as well as county government and the municipalities. We hope that DeKalb Township can support this program. Again, we greatly appreciate the township's long-term support for DCEDC. And we invite DeKalb Township to be a lead township supporter of Opportunity. I'm happy to answer any questions or provide additional information.
You mentioned that you wanted to promote community development. What do you envision of when you promote community development, what that looks like?
Well, when I say community development, I mean promote activities within communities that are attractive to professionals and families and workers, and also ultimately to support increased demand for housing by working with communities and developers to identify opportunities where viable and where communities would like to see growth to promote growth in the county. The population of the county declined, as you know, in the last decade, and I think many communities and our economy could use some sustainable growth to support our communities, our companies, and hopefully lead our communities and churches and institutions, nonprofits.
One of the things, Paul and I had a chance to speak on the phone this morning, and one of the questions I had for him that I think is important is we've supported the township has supported DCEDC for, I think, going back to Eric Johnson's, if not before that.
As long as I've been here.
Okay. And so I asked Paul what other townships are contributing, especially, with the economic development, and for our Facebook going in, Afton Township is benefiting from that. It's not in our townships, we won't be receiving that. So that's one of the things that I would, encourage reaching out to, some of the townships are so small. There's 19 townships in DeKalb County. Some of them are super small and may not have, the funding, but I don't know what their budgets are. Others may have it. So one of the things I would recommend, because we all benefit from the work that you do. So what?
I appreciate your advice. We will reach out to all townships.
Okay. And if you need, a lot of them don't have websites. So if you need contact information for any of them, I can certainly help with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to you. Thanks.
So later on under new business, we'll be having the discussion, but what they're asking for is a commitment of $1,000 a year for the next 3 years to support this initiative. So any questions for Paul before we move on to the next presentation?
I have just a comment. I know you mentioned the the Ferrera, I guess the Facebook place. What I know about them though is that they're doing stuff in DeKalb Township, in DeKalb, in the city.
Yes,
Like
yes, they
they're
are.
doing stuff.
Yes,
They got a resource room, a computer room over at Tiffany's place.
oh,
I think
okay,
that's for the kids. So, you know, not to discount them, but I do know that they are contributing.
right, and that's,
And-
yeah, they are
Yeah.
contributing, but, you know,
No, it doesn't do anything, you know, to your point. I
Right.
just wanted to mention that.
yeah, and they're
They are-
helping
They are
with
giving.
STEM stuff in the schools.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other things I'm not even aware of.
They've agreed to be a lead sponsor of Opportunity Unbound, a lead private sponsor of Opportunity Unbound as well.
So, my question, and you mentioned it a little bit, what options or opportunities exist to train people to be workers or train people to participate in the growth and the development?
The Kane Kendall and DeKalb County Workforce Development Board makes resources available to the 3-county region, including DeKalb through Kishwaukee College. So Kishwaukee College receives allocations to help with new training, retraining of candidates. What all that's needed is to have candidates seeking training to reach out to the King Kendall DeKalb Workforce Development Center. They have an office on Peace Road and Pleasant. And I could forward that contact information to you both from the King Kendall DeKalb Workforce Board office, as well as contacts at Kishwaukee College who handle and administer the training programs.
Well, and I'll tell you why I asked because, you know, a lot of times as places develop and they progress, you leave a big portion of people out. Not necessarily intentionally, but if you don't plan to, you know, kind of, you know, it's like when you make a cake or something, you want to fold people into that development. And so that's why I asked that question. I didn't hear a lot about that, that piece of it.
We can't afford to leave people out now. The labor market is so tight.
Well, I agree. Yeah. And, you know, when you leave people out, then that's not good for the people that live around them, nor is it good for them. So,
You know, you bring up a good point. We've had employers inquire about how to reach out deeper in the community to identify new sources of talent that might be underappreciated or undertrained at the moment and not know what to do. And I'm not sure that that's progressed as far as the companies have wanted it to go as well. And I can't put my finger on what's missing to make the connection stronger. But I think we need to, and I'm willing to look into it.
Anything else for Paul? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to go. So
I have responsibilities at home, so
Okay.
I don't mind.
Yep, I'll be in touch then.
But thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate your
all
consideration.
right,
All right.
thank you.
Appreciate all you do.
sure, thanks.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so next we have Lieutenant Tom Conley, who reached out about a program that the DeKalb Fire Department's doing. And he's here to tell us about it tonight, and that information is in your packet following the previous presentation.
Well, good evening and thank you for your invitation to speak with you tonight. My name is Tom Conley. I'm the Fire Prevention Officer for the DeKalb Fire Department. With me is our Fire Chief, Mike Thomas. The DeKalb Fire Department provides over 7,000 annual emergency service requests to DeKalb, including the DeKalb Fire Protection District. This area covers an approximate area from Webster Road to Nelson Road, and then from Perry Road south to Rich Road to the north for a rough geographic area. We've begun to see an increase in the number of elderly or those with mobility issues who remain in their homes and often live alone. When we receive an emergency call from a product like Life Alert or a third-party caller, we often find that the house is locked and inaccessible. This situation puts us, the fire department, in the position where we need to find a way into the home. We will often try all windows and doors around the residence first. If we discover an open window, we will send one of our members in through the window. This poses a potential injury or a potential risk for injury to that member by climbing into the window into an unknown space. If a window is not open, we are then faced with forcing a door open to gain access to that home. The DeKalb Fire Department uses this option only as an absolute last resort. The method of entry often ruins the door jam, and the locking mechanism, causing the homeowner additional costs. In most cases, a door replacement can cost the homeowner over $500. This method also leaves the homeowner in a position where they cannot secure their property. In cases where the individual is transported to the hospital, a police officer must remain on the scene until someone arrives to secure the property. Sycamore Fire Department currently offers a program that loans a Knox home box to mobility challenged residents. They offered this program for several years and have had positive feedback from the community, and we would like to implement a similar program in DeKalb. The Knox home box offers a mechanism that provides a secure method of storing a key that allows entry into the home. The DeKalb Fire Department would be the only entity that would have access to the home box, and the home box is virtually indestructible. This program is designed for residents in 1 or 2 family homes. Those in apartment complexes should have a commercial style Knox box installed by the landlord for the entire complex. So how will this program work? First, a person interested in the program would contact the DeKalb Fire Department and fill out an application requesting a home box. The fire prevention officer will then review the application to determine if the person qualifies for the program. The parameters would be a temporary or permanent mobility impairment or a potential fall risk. However, these limitations are painted with a very broad brushstroke. This is not an absolute. The overall idea is to assist our restaurant residents that need help. Once the individual is accepted, they will sign an agreement with the city of DeKalb stating that the home box will be returned once their condition changes and the home box is no longer needed. Third, we would then install the home box in the exterior of the home. The resident will provide a key to their residence that will be placed in the home box. We're going to offer 2 types of home boxes, one that mounts flush onto the exterior of the home, and the other is an over the door option. This option will be very limited quantity. After the installation, DeKalb dispatch will be notified and a note will be made on the address that a home box is present. When dispatched to that residence, responding units will be informed that there's a home box. We will follow up annually to confirm that the home box is still required at that home. I am requesting from you, the DeKalb Township Board, for a grant for $8,980 to purchase 50 Knox home boxes from the Knox Company. That this is an excellent way to serve the members of our community and provide a level of security and peace of mind for those individuals that are at risk. Thank you for your time and your consideration this evening.
Thank you.
Any questions?
One of the things that you and I discussed on the phone that I think would be important for the board to understand is the difference between house. Didn't you say something about rentals that this would not?
Yes. So on our commercial occupancies, large apartment complexes, there's a large box that goes on the side of the house. I believe you might even have one here. No. Oh, you do not? Okay. It's a much larger box. It costs about $450 to $500 currently. Very large, very cumbersome. This is a very small, kind of like a realtor type knock box, except it has key access that we only have the key to.
So this would be mostly on private homeowners?
Yes,
or-
this is targeted for 1 and 2 family homes
Okay.
only.
It's not, is it income based at all, or is it only,
Probably not. It'd be more of a need type.
need type basis?
You know, if you have, for example, a parent that lives with you and you're gone for 12 hours out of the day, maybe you would qualify, you know, where they pose a potential risk and would not have access to getting back to allow us into the residence.
Mhm.
That would be probably one of the parameters that would fall under.
So how would you know who needs this?
We will have a questionnaire and we'll ask what their needs are, what their necessities, what their requirements are.
Is it possible for people to buy this
Yes, they can,
themselves?
yes, they can buy it themselves over the
Would
market.
you still have access to it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's like a generic
Uh,
from your end, open,
yes,
a way to open it.
yes, we have,
Okay.
it's only one key. You would go through the Knox company and fill out an order form, and they would have it keyed for,
Oh, okay.
fill out your address as to where you live. And then it would go specific to you, to this community. So if you were to move to another community, it would not work in that community.
Okay.
I really like that it's serving, I'm anticipating it will be serving a portion of the population that's been in DeKalb for a long time, and, it's giving something back to some elderly folks who.
Yes.
Well, the majority of your boundaries list, basically, other than south, is the township lines. We go a little farther than Nelson Road, but Rich Road is basically our line to the north
And I
and
believe-
Gurler to the south,
Yeah.
so.
And I believe that we discussed that you do service, what's that subdivision out?
Like Virginia and Pioneer.
Donnybrook.
Donnybrook
Yeah.
area, so that's,
So-
so you are DeKalb Township.
So it would be, we'd be serving all DeKalb Township residents in that case. who need it.
Yes.
How did you pick the quantity?
I based it off of Sycamore. They started with 30 boxes initially. They have gone through that and ordered an additional 30. The number of 50, since our population is much larger, I thought would be a fair number to start with and go from there with it. If we need additional and expand the program, we will probably do that in the future then.
And is it a reason why you picked the design that you picked? I noticed they have several designs.
It was pretty much the generic design. The design that they're all pretty much the same for the most part. It's the colors that really vary. I just kind of picked a generic box.
Okay.
White. Yeah, basic white.
The over the door versus the mounting.
Yeah, there is, yes, the over the door type, for those that have a brick fascia or a storm door where we will be able to mount it onto their home.
I saw that.
I think it's great.
I like that it also deals with the police and frees up the, a police officer could potentially be there for hours waiting for someone to secure the building, so they're taken off the street. So I like that, this is two ends of public safety, as far as I'm concerned. Any other questions? We'll be discussing this under new business.
Yeah, I have one more question. So, the model that you picked is 187. The ones that I see here are 174.
I have to take a look at that again, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you included, installation price, I don't.
It's a different model number. The one
You
that's
see the-
174 is 1501 DH.
No, I'm saying you see the 187 though?
Yeah, that's the 1501 DH.
What page is that on?
Yes, and we will install these for free, so this is not getting passed on, this cost is not getting passed on to the homeowner, this is. The one that's for $187 is over the door type.
I just didn't
So those
see.
are a little bit
it, so-
more. These prices on this might not, I don't reflect the price.
Yeah, I mean, the one-
Apologize that.
The 1501 DH on one page says 174, but on the quote.
Yes, I apologize for the prices. I did not notice that.
Well, it looks like it might be including the shipping and handling for,
On the quote,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we all know materials are increasing by the day, so.
yeah, same model number.
I didn't see it.
All right, any final questions?
I do apologize for the
Oh, no.
prices.
Oh, no,
No,
we know, I mean, the catalog could be older than the quotes, so.
It happens, it happens.
So they quoted the most current price, even though the catalog showed.
Yes.
So as the need decreases for these, are they, that's probably not the best way to say that. Are they recyclable?
Yes.
Right, so somebody leaves or doesn't need it and then.
Yes. That we
Somebody
will,
else gets
yes.
it.
So we will follow up on an annual basis. If it's no longer needed, they'll come back into our inventory.
And that's part of the agreement you said too, right?
Yes,
Like
yes,
they
we have a-
sign it when they don't need it anymore,
Yes.
back to you.
Absolutely. And then we'll go out and mount it and install it ourselves and then take it out also ourselves.
Great.
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
One more question. Are there other fire departments that do this? I know you said Sycamore.
Sycamore does, yes. Those are the only two that they are the only ones in our area that I know that offer this currently.
Last question, is this Knox Home Box, are they local? I didn't look at all of that.
No, they are not.
Okay.
They're basically the only one that does.
Yes.
Okay, I see they're in Arizona.
Kind of the standard.
Yeah, I kind of like Arizona.
Me too.
I like the environment anyway. Some things about it I don't like, but I do like Arizona. 365 days of sunshine, you can't beat that.
Any other questions? All right, so you're welcome, again, you're welcome to stay if you'd like to do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
thank you, thank
Could be
you.
here a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet
I will shoot you an email.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time tonight.
You better get that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Months ago now.
yeah,
It's been official for about a month.
So,
yeah. Well, I hadn't seen him here, I saw him in the paper, so.
Yeah.
all right, moving on, public comments. And for that, so reports, in your packets is a supervisor report. Two things to report on. Newkirk and Associates, our new CPA firm, started the audit. They showed up last week and shared, I spent a couple hours with them, and one of the things that they told me, they're a little bit different from Whipsley, who's done the audits in the past, in the sense that they are going to reach out individually to each board member with a series of questions, kind of standard questions. So I don't know if they're going to do that by email or they asked for everyone's contact information. And I think we gave them the cell of the township or the phone number of the township. So, but it, I can't remember if it's your home address or the township address. So you can expect to hear from them. I just don't know what the timeline is for that. They're going to complete it by September, so. Cemetery update, if you follow our Facebook page, you would have seen that last Friday we had volunteers from the NIU Cares Day helping at Oakwood with cleanup. That was the girls basketball team, and they did an incredible job in a short amount of time. We've filled the back of a dump truck with branches from all the tree branches that had fallen. And then, we cleaned up garbage and Christmas flowers on graves and so forth. So they saved us a lot of time, especially to the road district crew that mows for us, to not have to do that. So they were great. And then item B, received property tax exemption certificate for Oakwood. I didn't mean Oakwood, I meant so at Oakwood Cemetery, to the north of it is a piece of property that the township acquired 8 years ago or something.
2014, 2015, something like that.
Yeah, so it's behind an apartment building, the two apartment buildings that are there, and it goes up to the Kish River. And we have been receiving tax bills for it. I looked it up and it looks like we've been receiving tax bills since 2014, or that's as far back as I can go. And granted, it's not a huge amount of money, but so I started last year, when I became aware of that, I started the process for filing for a tax exemption. So that finally came this week. So starting next year, for next year's property taxes, we'll have an exemption, so we won't have to pay property taxes on that. So.
Are we gonna use that for anything? I remember we had talked about it in years past.
I know that, it's really up to Mary. There was talks of putting a path through there and things of that.
We have like no access to it or something.
There's a little bit of access right next to the river, there's supposedly access between what now is a used car sales place, and there's a little apartment, like studio apartments or whatever in there. We usually just, like, I know when the guys mow, they just drive the mower down First Street and get in there because there's no place to park. the car lot's kind of taking up the old gas station now with cars and stuff, but, and they keep offering the guys money to mow their lot. Guys keep turning them down, of course, but, other than that, we went in there last year, trimmed a bunch of trees, worked with the apartment owner, was very kind. Because it was their tree, but it was kind of hanging down where his guys were getting hit in the face and stuff, and I just said, do you mind if they met us over there, they worked with us really good to clean it up. So it's kind of one of them projects where we don't want to spend a lot of money on it, but we're slowly, working it up and keeping it cleaned up and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, it's because of the access, it's, you can't
Yeah, I
really make
remember
much of it. But if we
We had
could,
talked about something like a path, and then I just remember talking about how there's an easement to get there, but nobody even knows it's there.
yeah, so it is on my radar, and if there, at some point, I would like to look into some grants to see if we can do something more with that area, join it to the cemetery and like make a walking path or something. So,
And I think originally, if I remember, it was Eric and that took on that, it was, I want to say the Bush Preserve is what it's called, and it was Bush that owned a bunch of real estate around town. And his daughter and son-in-law donated to the township. So,
I believe it was Jim Rhodes's
It was.
father-in-law.
yeah, and Jim Rhodes and his wife are the ones that donated it to us. Yeah, there's a plaque over there kind of behind the used car. And that's as far as it's gone. It would, to clean out the dead but it was more of because there was people in there and then accessing it from the cemetery and just, so it was better that we just kind of took it over and slowed that down, so. And I think it's working out.
So, yeah, that's about, so hopefully there'll be updates coming on that during my term. Next, so if you recall last year, the Boy Scout did a project at Oakwood Cemetery for his Eagle Scout project, where he basically made a flower bed at the entrance of Oakwood. And so the entrance of Oakwood is adjacent to a path that leads to Elwood House. There's a path. And so by the just stroke of luck, we had a plan. Craig has been helping me looking at, we wanted to install a flagpole in that new flower bed. And we were trying to figure out how we would get a light on it to properly illuminate it
Mary
at
would
night.
go over every day.
Yeah, and just hold a
Sun up
flashlight.
and sun down, and take the flag up and down, but she was not up for that, so.
So we were looking at solar ones, and we know that they have, somewhat of a short lifespan.
Especially with the heavy tree coverage over there.
So lo and behold, yesterday, Craig got a call from Mike Wood, who is doing a project for the Park District where he is installing light poles in that path. They're going to pave that path and then they're installing light poles. And so the last light pole, it was coming onto our land. And so we have talked with one of the project managers for the Park District and just had a tentative conversation today, and we'll follow up with I'll follow up with the executive director. But it seems like it's going to work out that they installed a light pole a little bit or on our land, and then we would be able to tap into that electricity to have the light to shine on the flagpole. So it's kind of a win-win situation, and then the entrance to the cemetery is going to be lit up, whereas right now it's completely dark.
And where we paved last year, they're continuing, we did a little branch for this path. And it's for the Elwood House to use the First Congregational Church's parking lot for an overflow. So now they're gonna go ahead and take this path and pave it, make it hard surface, so it'll be, and then it's, when we're over there, there's people coming, walking on through there a lot, so it's very well used. I think the lights are a great idea through there. It'll be wide enough that for emergency vehicle, if they had to get through there for some reason. So it's a safe path, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be, so I think it's a win-win for everyone.
So that was kind of exciting just to have that happen this week. So we'll keep you updated on that. It'll probably involve an IGA at some point that we'll be bringing back to you. And then Evergreen Cemetery, which is on 7th and Taylor. So along the 7th Street side of it, there are these concrete pillars. They're about every 6-8 feet.
Yeah, buddy.
About 4 foot tall. And they've served a good purpose because people who come around 7th Street too fast, there's been a few times where they've just continued into the front of the cemetery and the concrete pillars have slowed them down. You know, stop them from going and running over headstones and so forth. So this idea is not mine. It originated from Jody Peterson, who is our longtime employee of the township. So on those pillars, there's 26 pillars, I believe. And so on the corner of Roosevelt and 7th, and then on the corner of Taylor and 7th, we have ordered flagpoles. So on the 5 big flag holidays, Memorial Day, Flag Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and Veterans Day, we will install those flagpoles with the American flag and then all of the military flags and POW and so forth. Kind of like, you know, they do at the courthouse or some other locations. So we are hoping to have that completed for this Labor Day. Flagpoles have been ordered. Now we need to order the flags now that we know heights. Memorial Day, when I say Labor Day? Oh, that's one in September.
I mean, this was plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time. So hopefully you can go over and check it out and it'll bring some more pride to our community. Next, assistance programs. Our phones are ringing off the hook. Now that the weather's nice, ComEd is shutting utilities off, so we're getting a lot of calls for that. And then landlords, you know, are, enforcing their leases. And so people are finding themselves with 5-day notices or eviction notices. So we have been really busy trying to help people. And then LIHEAP ends May 31st. So I took a look at our system today and we were able to help 67 individuals by being a LIHEAP site this year for completing LIHEAP. Whether or not they were approved, I don't know, but you know, they were able to come to us instead of waiting for appointments with LIHEAP. So I thought that was great for the first year. And then next upcoming events, this Saturday is the Shred and Recycle event. We would love to see you there if it works for your schedule. That is from 9 until 11. And we've been getting a lot of phone calls about it, so we're expecting a good turnout again. On May 20th, we're participating in the DeKalb Chambers local showcase and job fair, and that's at the Park District building here. On June 3rd, we have the Lions Vision and Hearing screening. And so there is information in your book about that. And so that is your standard hearing screening for any individual. The vision screening, they have a special type of machine that it's intended to be used for, I believe it's children 6 and under, that is able to take a picture of your eyes and detect if there's any abnormalities. And apparently this machine has done wonders for early detection and then helping kids. So, you know, please promote this to your friends with children. We'll do, you know, our promoting with the paper and radio and social media. But if you could help spread the word, that'd be great. And then on June 7th, we have the Secretary of State setting up shop in this room to assist with services. The only service that will not be available is the Real ID. And then FOIA's on the next page. We just had one since the last meeting. Any questions about any of that?
I don't have a question, I have 2 comments.
Mhm.
One for under cemetery updates, at A, you said the girls basketball,
Yes.
they prefer women's
Oh, I'm
as
sorry.
opposed to girls.
Yes.
And on the 14th is NA's graduation. So
Oh,
I
okay.
say that only because people coming may run into some traffic. And I don't know that, I thought about that at the time you mentioned it, but that's just something to.
Okay. All right, we'll be
Yeah.
aware of that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. if
88
people would
tends,
take the
or
same
Annie
streets,
Glidden
but-
tends to get congested. I don't
Yeah.
know if this area does or not. 'Cause-
Yeah, I don't have any,
And it's earlier in the day, so it might not be down here.
you know when their first graduation is?
I think it's at 9, but I'm not sure.
That's early.
But for people, if it's orientation or if school starts, people don't know this exit. But people that have been here may say, hey, take this exit, 'cause
Sneak out on
it
peace.
probably won't be
Yeah.
as crowded, yeah. So it's just something
Yeah,
to
okay.
know,
Thank you. I wasn't,
yeah.
even though I heard on the radio today that graduations were on Saturday, didn't click that could be a conflict, so.
Yeah, well, I remember when Lynn was here. And Lynn would talk about, County versus County. And so what I would think is that that's an area for potential frustration.
Mhm.
And so that's just something to keep in mind. And so certainly, I don't know, maybe we can have some donuts or something by the time they get in and go, hey, if you ran into traffic, get some donuts in the house.
I'll be honest with you, we have it down pat so well that they're really not here more than a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they
Ran
click.
pretty smooth last
Yeah, I
time.
mean,
Yeah,
they pull in within 5 minutes, they're heading out the door.
right.
Okay,
I mean, we have people lining up a half an hour before it starts.
okay, well, good.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the amount of people that have that much paperwork to get rid of.
Boxes and
Yeah.
boxes.
Like,
And
how?
even the
And then
second
it's
time,
needed for another time, not even that much. Or not that-
Yeah. Well, I think, with identity theft and everything, you don't want to
Right.
just toss stuff.
You wanna get rid of stuff,
Yeah. So,
why we do it?
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
so on the 7th, I can come and get my sticker for my,
You sure can.
okay, that's
You need your ID
first.
or?
Well, I got my driver's license and everything. I did that actually first time through the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mine's done the 3rd of June, so I got on the computer and filled everything out, and then
Oh.
it said to go to the driver's license. I said, yeah,
Oh, it might be your age.
Oh,
or my CDL. My age,
Oh.
what's that supposed to
Vision
be?
test.
That probably could
Yeah.
very well be, so. Ooh, let's roll the dice.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Any other questions? Clerk's report?
I'm sorry. You got a thing here that says suggestions for future events.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, please.
Tiffany had a thing. Tiffany is this, she's a former, well, I don't think she went to NIU for a little while. She has an organization called,
Black ink.
thank you very much, Black Ink. And so they always do stuff. So they do stuff with kids. And they did an event called Men with Ties. That's not what it's called.
100 men with ties.
Yeah, 100, yeah, something like that. So I would hope that, if they come up with some ideas or we come up with some ideas, that certainly we could keep and not just Black Ink, I mean, other youth organizations,
Right,
because summer's coming.
right.
So if we could, anything to kind of get young people active and engaged.
Yeah, that's what, and that's, I'm glad you pointed that out. Suggestions for future events. I would, if any of you trustees have ideas for, things that we could do that serve the community. Like we know the shred and recycle event serves a large population, and we're hoping that these other events will. Events that we can host where community members can receive a benefit for their tax dollars that they pay to
What
us.
about like a backpack drive? I know a lot of people do that down here, but
They do
Something
Do
so
have one.
many,
Welsh Park has,
Yeah.
that's the one I know about.
right, and we do participate in that
Yeah.
already.
okay.
Yeah,
So-
that's like a lot.
Yeah. That's a big event,
I don't know, I've never utilized it, so I'm not sure of like the turnouts or whatnot, but
yeah.
Oh, it's
a
phenomenal.
lot.
Yeah. what I was thinking though is there something that we can do for seniors? Because there's not a big thing that occurs for seniors.
And I think a lot of what, with the driver's license being here, where it's not so
Yeah.
difficult to get in someplace.
The
The
vision-
hearing and vision,
Screening.
and quite frankly, early voting.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have senior citizens come from Sandwich here.
Oh,
All the way
wow.
up here, because it's so convenient to get in and out of the building.
Whoa,
Yeah, I mean, you'd be
Okay.
amazed, they're like, we just come here every year, or
okay,
every election. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking maybe some social stuff. And I say that my mom lives in Georgia, and like the social stuff for the seniors there, like that's over the top. It's a thing. It's like I don't even know how to, I guess it's like we go to school, we go to parties, like people go to church there,
Right.
Well, we met with the mayor and we had our luncheon, and I thought, wow, like y'all really get into this, just cause you reach a certain age and you do. So I think, I think that would be nice. And I remember when we went to the convention in Springfield, that a lot of people had awards for activities that they did for seniors. So
That is a population that I'm looking to enhance programming for.
okay,
And and Chad and I had a conversation not too long ago about bringing in someone from the Attorney General's office to talk about programs, like the identity theft and the scams and things like that.
okay.
So Chad gave me some input on what he thinks might serve people well in this community based on what he knows from his job. So there's hopefully some things in the works here, and
Okay, well, I think about seniors and seniors being lonely.
yeah,
And so if there's some ways to promote some interaction.
I agree.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, please, if you see or hear of things that other municipalities are doing that you think we can take on with our small staff, by all means, please let me know and we'll see if we can manage it.
Well, and maybe we can collaborate,
Absolutely. Yep.
with others.
Yep.
It doesn't just have to be
Right.
us.
Right. Okay, highway. Clerk's report, sorry.
So Sunrise DeKalb, group I'm proud to lead here. The county has a bunch of mutual aid supplies for people that are struggling right now. We've got, I think, 15 to 20 different packs full of stuff like toiletries, soap, shampoo, conditioner, grooming products. And we have like 10 of them for people with housing, and then the other 10 of them are designed for people that may not be fortunate enough to have housing at the moment. So if you know of anyone in need, we're on like all of social media. We're at
What's the name of the organization?
Sunrise DeKalb.
Okay.
And we're at Sunrise DeKalb on everything. So,
Sunrise DeKalb, have a website like .org or?
we have a link tree that leads to all of the social media.
Okay.
So it's just linktr.ee -Sunrise DeKalb.
Does
That's
that,
easy.
does
No,
that-
I'm kidding.
yeah, so Linktree?
Yeah, so it's like it's linktr.ee /Sunrise DeKalb, and that should lead you to all of our social media.
Oh.
And it should have the form too.
So you have like a Facebook page we could go to?
Yeah.
Get a phone number
Absolutely.
or, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good to know. Anything else?
Also, Sunrise DeKalb is also looking for donations of any sort of mutual aid thing you might have, from clothing to toiletries and et cetera. We're trying to keep this initiative going for as long as possible.
Okay. If you want to get that information to Karen, we could promote it on our Facebook page.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
You said Sunrise they're looking for clothing?
Just any sort of mutual aid kind of donations that you have, things that you think people could use. So yes.
Oh, okay. Do you pick it up, or do we have to deliver it to you?
No, I could pick it up if you would like me to, or if someone else from Sunrise DeKalb can. Just
Well, it's gonna be summer, so I figure I could do some, purging.
for sure.
Yeah.
We're happy to take whatever you purchase. So
Highway Commissioners report?
I don't have a lot. I know, she brought up, with Oakwood, so that was, a week ago Friday, so I'm kind of just decided that the road district's just gonna donate the guys and the time and the stuff along with the, women's basketball team
Okay.
to, clean up Oakwood over there the, last Friday. It's just,
Well, thank you.
it's well worth the effort and the time to do that. So on the other, we did have a bid opening here last week for a sidewalk out on Home Services Drive for just better accessibility for the YMCA using the neighboring property and keeping, they used to use roadway just to walk because there's no sidewalk on that side. That came in roughly almost $10,000 under engineer's estimate. Worked out very well. So that's good. It's finally sunshine. The heat could go away a little bit, but we're actually being able to start our summer work stuff. So that's working out. And on a personal note, as we're talking about senior citizens right now, 2 of our township residents, I have their keys in my car because I am babysitting their homes while they're visiting family out of state. So those are the little things that, you know, I've been doing for years for different, and that window's expanding. And I'm also, I have an elderly woman, a retired school teacher from Sycamore that has talked me into, I think this meeting is gonna be in Somonauk, and it's a lot of school teachers and mostly above my age, retired, and they want to know more about townships and road districts and what goes on, and a lot of them do know, but so I'm going to be going down there and speaking to them on that. A lot of them are from the DeKalb and Sycamore area, but it's more of a county-wide organization. So yeah, I can't wait for me and you know, but yeah. So, and that's it for me. I can speak. I talked to Rich today. He was not feeling well, and I know, you know how he is. He's so long-winded, but all I'll say is that he said the tax bills are out, and you know, and that's it. So I think we can take that as the assessor's report.
Thank you. Trustees reports? Trustee McNutt?
No report from me.
Trustee Bradford?
I was gonna say, I was given permission to reach out to our service unit for Girl Scouts for more volunteers for volunteer opportunities. Unfortunately, none of mine are able to do it, but I can always reach out to the service unit's huge, like that opens up tons of troops, so
Okay,
a lot more
okay,
options for
Mhm.
volunteers.
all right. Well, I think we're probably pretty well covered for this Saturday.
Okay,
But we could work together in the future to,
okay,
and there, for the hearing and vision screening, the Lions did say that they could use volunteers, so, but that's on a weekday, I think it's on a Friday. But that would be more of an adult volunteers. So if anyone's available. All right, Trustee King?
I asked Tiffany about that too, because they have students and young people. I don't know if she got anybody for you, but I did certainly ask.
Thank you.
The students are leaving. They're going, well, technically they're leaving. It's commencement is Saturday, and there'll be just a little bit of a reprieve between now and summer school. And orientation looks to be in person, so there'll be traffic, which means there'll be people, which means there'll be business, hopefully, commerce, people will be buying stuff, which is a good
Let's
thing.
hope.
Yeah, let's hope. I kind of think that's it. I can't think of anything else that's really happening, good or bad. So that's it.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on to bill paying. First, we have the April audit report and bills to pay. So can I get a motion to approve the April audit report in the amount of $140,871.07, and the May bills to pay in the amount of $181,288.04? $271.72.
I will, and if I have a question, I'll wait.
You're right.
Okay.
Go ahead, discussion. So
I'll
make the motion.
Yeah,
Second,
Second.
discussion?
is that my question?
Yep.
Okay, I just had a question about the Culligan. It's a different price.
Yes, because we added, so we needed water in back for the guys, drinking water. So I started this, I started with, I don't know, 3 or 4 jugs, you know, and that wasn't enough. So that price is I gotta get
All right,
figured out,
Yeah,
but so
okay.
that's where that all comes stems from.
all right, that was just my question.
And then one correction that I am going to make for the purpose of inserting it into the minutes. On the first page under town fund, there's check 1241, and it says to my name.
Mhm.
That is actually to Karen Gamino. Jody originally made the check out to me, and I told her that's not mine, that's Karen's. And so she redid the check. She must have forgot to update it. So that is not my travel expense. That's Karen's from when we went to East Peoria to the General Assistance Conference. So I just want to make that clear. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee King,
Yes,
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
treasurer House,
Yes.
trustee Thurman's absent, so 4 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
Next, we have the April budget report. So can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve the budget report for April?
I move.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
yes,
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
supervisor House,
Yes.
trustee Thurman's absent, again, with 4 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
All right, moving on to new business, discussion and approval of expenditure for Opportunity Unbound. So I want to take this meeting to discuss everything, and then we'll come back with resolutions to approve at the next meeting if you want to move on with it. So like I said, they're asking for a commitment of $1,000 for the next 3 years for the Opportunity Unbound project.
plus what we give them, which is what, 25?
2750. That's to DCEDC for the community development.
Yeah, so that, I thought that seemed reasonable.
Yeah, it's not, I just wanted, the reason I mentioned Paul approaching other townships because, you know, we're one of 19 and so hopefully, you know, he can gain more funds by approaching some of these other townships.
I don't know if it's reasonable or not. I wonder what the money goes to. Is this a general fund that they're?
No, so it goes specifically for that project, Opportunity Unbound. So they're gonna be hiring someone to run the program. They have a website. They do a lot of promotional materials, which, as you know, any marketing costs money. I don't know if it said any more in here about that. So that's, what do you say? They're asking for $250,000. They're hoping to
They need
have 250 each
750,
year.
but they're already over 450 with their initial.
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
So,
My I guess what's a priority for me is always that, and even for the township, is that we try to provide opportunities for people in the township and for students. Because I think we do a disservice, particularly when we don't bring students on board. Because, you know, you need to train people.
Right.
To follow you. You know, we're not gonna always be, you know, now that my hips are hurting, I'm really understanding mortality.
yeah,
And I've been, quite frank, I've been to 2 funerals in 2 weeks, so I'm really, like, I get it. We are not here forever. But, I was gonna mention this later. You know, I think we can do just a better job of always promoting that.
Yeah,
And because the university is in our background,
right.
in our backyard.
I believe he talked about that one of their goals is student retention for
Mhm.
the NIU students.
In the program,
That they wanna
Kish College.
Yeah, well, yeah, the training at Kish
Kish
College
That's available.
and then trying to retain more NIU students. I thought that's what he was talking about.
Keeping them
So
here.
do they
in the
focus solely on like promoting it?
They're promoting the community because, well, for example, one of the issues that so many businesses in this community are facing is they can't find people to work. So they're going outside of DeKalb County and saying, hey, DeKalb County is a great place to live. You know, we have X, Y, and Z. Come on, check it out. So trying to get more people to consider moving here, and, you know, maybe more visitors like you were talking about for graduation, you know, or where orientation, that they would come and, you know, spend money in our community.
Yeah, yeah.
Generates tax dollars. And so it's more of a, you know, promoting all of DeKalb County to make it a, you know, attractive place.
And I think that's a real downfall right now, because, you know, being down at this end of town early in the mornings, the majority of some of these warehousing, these people don't live in this community or anywhere in this county. So, you know, they don't spend the money here either,
Yeah, that's.
you know, and they, so, which in turn hurts cities that have retail sales tax, whether it be on gasoline, groceries, and everything else. So that's what I think they're trying to promote. They've promoted to bring these big businesses in that have benefited all of us, that now they want to let them be sustainable here by keeping, you know, getting people to want to live here. As he said, DeKalb County has lost population, and bringing people in here that are working people and professional, whether in all phases of work, so that they can, you know, just make it a better community, really.
So do we want to bring it back to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay,
I would just suggest to reach out to him before the next meeting, just to say, you know, if he has contacted any of the townships, have any of them, you know, jumped on board, you know, because we're all having our meetings this week, all 19 townships. It's either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday this week. So, you know, with Afton, Sycamore, Malta, these are all townships that have benefited from what DC has done. Cortland, Sandwich, Somonauk, Genoa. I mean, there's a lot of them of the 19 that, you know, that have benefited. And quite frankly, $1,000 is not a great deal of money for any of the townships. So I thought that was a very reasonable ask.
so we'll bring that back in a resolution, and Dale is going to be watching the video so he can be informed on all these things. And if you want to reach out to Paul, Lisa, and get more clarity on the NIU thing, I'd be happy to send his email to you.
Okay, yeah, if it's not on this information.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I thought it was something he touched on in his speaking. Oh, yeah, I could rewatch the video too,
It might be on their website.
Yeah. or this video. Yeah. See what he said, or yeah, on their website.
Yeah. I
Okay.
see that.
All right, so we'll bring that back next month. Okay, and then the next one, you know what? Let's do a roll call vote. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the expenditure for Opportunity Unbound of $1,000 for the next 3 years. To bring that back next month as a resolution.
Trustee McNutt.
No, wait, I need a second.
Oh,
I'll second. And we'll vote on the resolution next.
We'll vote on the resolution, yeah.
comments.
Any further discussion?
Trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee King,
Yes,
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
supervisor Hess.
Yes.
And trustee Kevin in absence, 4 ayes and 2 nays, the motion to table it until next meeting
Next is the Community Outreach Public Safety Initiative for the DeKalb, or from the DeKalb Fire Department. And he called shortly after, Lieutenant Connolly called me shortly after we worked with the police department and approved those funds. So I really like that the township is getting involved with public safety and that it's serving all of our township residents. I think it's a great contribution that the township's making that serves, you know, a large portion of our community. So I was glad that he reached out about that.
Now, did he say that he's also reaching out to like the city of DeKalb and all that? Is he reaching out to other townships?
This program will only serve DeKalb Township residents.
Oh, yeah, dumb.
So the fire, well, it'll go into, I mean, they certainly should reach out to Acton Township. Because if he goes to Perry Road, that's the majority of Acton Township as well, so. I'll tell you that, I mean, there's some things that I have not agreed with over the years around here. This is something that I, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. When you see some of these old elderly people out in the country and everywhere, you know, I mean, this is, you know, and then when you hold up the police and having to sit there to find someone to come board up a door, I think this is, it's a no-brainer to me. I think it's a great thing.
So, any thoughts, comments on it?
I like it.
I like the idea that they're reused too, so.
Yeah, you can't destroy them. I mean, I guess you could with a sledgehammer, but the normal elements and weather and none of that will destroy them, so they can easily be used over and over.
Right, and I mean,
Years.
if we're saving, you know, anyone the expense of having a broken in window or door or.
And just the time to find anyone that is in need of emergency assistance in their home. I mean, that time of trying to get in their home, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a sense of relief. I remember when I went to the emergency room, I debated, like, should I go, should I call the people? Because I thought, what if my appendicitis first thing? It's really my arthritis flaring up, but I didn't know. I was just having a moment.
Right?
And then I thought, well, dang, what if something happens? Like, how do they get in? Do they just bust my door down?
Yep.
And well, yeah, I figured that, you know, but I make the comment as it relates to this, that's a much better option. And that, I would imagine, is some ease. If I call and say, I need help and I can't even get to the door,
Right.
they're like, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and he said this will work with people with those,
Life alert.
yeah,
Yeah, any of that, so.
I mean-
There'll be a note in the city's CAD system, when an address pops up, it'll say if there's a Knox box or a life alert. So they'll know when they're on the way.
Does Life Alert provide something right now for
They don't
people?
provide like, I don't know that we have key boxes from Life Alert.
Okay.
They basically provide
it's
phone
just-
call, I think.
yeah, I
don't
They're the
Yes,
notification,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm not aware that they provide key boxes.
All right, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody with Life Alert.
Knox boxes are primarily on businesses all over town for fire stuff too.
Ah,
We should have one here.
You know,
okay.
they just,
Something like that.
they're not common on residential ones, so that's what they're trying to explain.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic program that I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
you know, we're serving different segments of our population that townships were intended to serve, so I definitely would like to bring it back next month as an approval. So I'm gonna make a motion to approve the expenditure for community outreach for the DeKalb Fire Department in the amount of $8,980.
Second.
Any further discussion?
So you'll bring the resolution.
I'll bring the
next month?
resolution next month, but I wanted to be able to give them, you know, let them know if we're gonna move forward with it, so. Roll call.
Trustee Bredlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
Yes.
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
supervisor Hess.
Yes,
Trustee Thurman is absent with 4 ayes and 0 nays. The motion passes.
so I will bring those two resolutions back next month. for final approval. Next in your packet is we received a COI grant request. It's for $500 from the DeKalb Public Library for a program that they're doing in conjunction with Early Learning Child Center for the school district and also the NIU Preschool for All program. It's an outreach thing where they're will be doing, a librarian will be going into the different classrooms and doing reading with the kids and then providing a book to all the students. And so they're asking for the township's assistance with the purchase of the books. So any questions about it?
No, I make a motion that we support it.
Okay.
I see there's a Spanish or dual language, so that's good. I just read something about reading the kids too, like what you do from 1 to 2 and then 3 to 5 and then 5 to 7. So reading is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're making a motion that we approve the COI grant in the amount of 500?
Yeah.
Seconded. Okay. Discussion? My only hesitation, I think, I obviously support reading, I think it's a great program, is that the 3 bodies providing this program are all taxing bodies. And so they're already getting tax dollars,
Is that a conflict?
No, not necessarily, but, the library increased their taxes this year.
Immensely,
And the school district,
immensely.
I think they had a slight decrease. And so, that's just one of my concerns, maybe going forward, we can be more aware of that, the services provided.
Is that a conversation you can have with somebody? And I say you as a supervisor, I mean, somebody at the library.
Well, either we approve it or we don't.
No, I mean, even
We've never
if you approve
excluded
it,
taxing bodies before, right?
No, and I mean, we were just approved the one with the fire department, that's a taxing body, but, that's just a personal perspective I have after looking, at,
All the levies,
The
if any
increases.
resident of this township, if you look across the board at the tax bill, the people that are asking us to provide money to them are the ones that gave any parcel in this township the hardest hit on their tax bill this year. Now here we are into maybe the first quarter of their budget, they're already asking for more money. Are they being fiscally responsible? I think, am I being mistaken by what you're insinuating?
well, I just,
But,
was it budgeted for and, I know that they got funds from the community foundation.
Yeah, it's like they got 4 different ones listed.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that, I think that's a great program, and I think it's something that's needed.
I know they recently did it at the grade schools too, and they had like a thing where kids could sign up for library cards.
Yeah, you can, through the school district, regardless if you live in Malta, Cortland, the school district has an agreement with the library that if you're a District 428 student, you can get a library card for free. So I just wanted to, express that, that was my thought when I first read the grant. So.
right, so my comment was, and I'm still asking, is there somebody from the library that you can speak with about that as a concern or no? I mean,
Yeah,
is it
no,
something
of
you
course.
wouldn't address?
Well, no,
Or-
I certainly can.
I mean, it doesn't change anything, it just says, hey, listen,
Right, and I don't know enough about the Committee on Youth when it started to know what their intentions were, who they intended to fund, and I know that the township code says they have to be, established for more than a year and 501c3
And it was,
or a government body. So, I don't know what their intentions were. I know that since I've been involved in the township, we have approved grants for the library. It was just, when I saw that was the three bodies working together, it's something that kind of stood out to me. So,
I know when they first came around, the COI grants were based on, juvenile delinquency.
and that they still are.
And that, I'm sure they are, so I guess that's,
And that's what this program intends to
Yeah,
do.
it's
is
probably
to-
preventative.
It's
Yeah.
prevention.
Toward kids.
So,
Says early intervention for at-risk students,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
talking about that very thing.
right.
Well, kids that read, lead.
that's a great program.
So, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee King,
Yes,
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
supervisor House.
Yes.
Trustee Thurman's absence with 4 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
And so I will now revisit we need to get COI up and running again. Then the committee can decide. We'll read the bylaws and see what the structure.
Rewrite the bylaw.
Okay. All right, so next is the approval of minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting, April 12th, 2022. Can I get a motion to approve those? I will make that motion. Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So those pass. Executive session, there's nothing. Other business, the next meeting is June 8th at 6 p.m. If there's nothing else, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
adjourn.
I'll second that. Everyone in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed?